Like I said in the last video, you will have to go back and watch it, but I am going to take everything that I've documented throughout this July budget overview and transfer whatever occurred over the first week of July inside of this weekly spreadsheet. All right. To gain more clarity in regard to what happened over the course of the first week of July. So if we go back to the overview, you can see we came in with a savings of 2,000. So that's what we started with, and that's what we're going to start with in the budget. $2,000. From there, we had rent at 1,500, i.e., any basic need expenses at $1,500.00. From there, we had a business expense at $3.19. And then we have to do a little bit of math here because again, we want it to close at 1,000. But in order for us to do that, we had to take the 2,000 from our savings, subtract our rent at 1,500, the business expense at 319, to see that we had $496.81 remaining, which is where I'll add that throughout our reinvestment capital line of revenue in the form of rolled over funding. Right? From there, I need to subtract $1,000, which is what I wanted to close with, to determine what new funding needed to be generated in order to secure the close of 1,000, which was 500, $3.19. All right. So from there, I am going to visually structure this budget. So when I look at it, it's easier for me to determine what happened over the duration of the first week of July. Because your budget essentially tells a story, right? My budget legit uh states or tells a story of work and responsibilities. I don't really do much outside of that because how do I want to put this? It's not that I hate my job. I like it a little bit. And because I like it a little bit, I don't envision myself going to work chasing money to pay for things that don't intrigue me because the job in itself doesn't really intrigue me, if that makes sense. If I was working a job that I loved more so than liked, then I possibly would have more expenses throughout my budget, if that make any kind of sense. So because I don't, I kind of subliminally force myself to manage my money in a way to where, listen, if it's anything outside of cost of living expenses, in extension to my overall health, which I'm not being very disciplined on, I think I'm going to just go ahead and, since I decided to take the day off, or not really take the day off. I'm just going to show up at a later time today. I'll to take the time, the window that I have with me possibly going to work at a later time to possibly go to the gym, because right now this is the second recording in one sitting. So I believe that I should just go ahead and either go for a nature walk and utilize these extended purchases that I made in extension to the expenses occurring throughout my budget, or I could just go to the gym since I have a gym membership. So either case, as long as I'm prioritizing my health. Nonetheless, from there, the weekly expense report is everything in a red. So $1,503.19. And then a weekly revenue report is everything in a green, right? Except for what we started the week off with. So that's the $1,000 that we wanted to close off on the 5th. So this extends whatever clarity that was needed in regard to the report or data that was generated from this overview. We started off with 2,000. We subtracted the 1,500 for rent, the $3.19 business expense. We had no spends. We had a rollover savings of $496.81. And we needed to generate an additional 503.19 in order for us to close on the 5th with $1,000. All right. So again, your budget tells a story based on, I would even extend this theory and say, one's money behaviors, right? How you view money. Sometimes I'll be wondering when I say certain stuff, it'd be like, because the reaction that I get, people be looking like, what do you mean you don't care about money? It's not that I don't care about money. I don't care to chase money that I feel like, in a sense, I don't care to spend, if that make any kind of sense. I don't mind paying bills, but when it comes to extended expenses that I just feel like, if I'm balancing out the scale that I just really don't feel like picking up extra shifts for, I'm just not going to invest in those extended expenses throughout the budget. It's just not worth my time, because I don't want to train myself to get stuck or trapped in a line of work that I prefer to someday exit from, which is why I need to take YouTube more seriously when it comes to content creation, right? And extension to opening up a possible new stream of revenue, right? By incorporating, in addition to content creation, things such as products for sale to my growing community, or services being provided through my niche, if that make any kind of sense. So instead of trapping myself into one income stream, I'll then have the ability to stabilize that one and open up an additional 1 to 3 new streams, if that makes sense. Nonetheless, this is the overview and spreadsheet that I would then refer back to make sure that I'm staying on track for the week. And yeah, leave some comments down in the comment section below and let me know if you covered the rent for this week of July already. Have you budgeted for the holiday? Um, what did your overview for July look like? Knowing that the week started on Wednesday, so we already midweek. So that's a short week already. So leave some comments down in the comment section below and let me know what you spent during the first week of July, knowing we only had 5 days to spend, to generate and spend. What did you spend money on during that week? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.